Hi, everybody out there on the experience. This is a Minute to Skim It. I'm Miss Jen.
And I'm Hanna.
That's right, we're under a tornado warning.
Woo!
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 As Hanna would like to say, it means we have the whole taco. We're ready to have a tornado. So we'll tell you what might fly around the room later at your comic shop. A reminder to go to comicshoplocator.com and look up the local comic shop near you and support them. Even if you have a local comic shop already, find another one and throw $5 at them this week. Make them laugh and be happy. All right. X-Core number 1. You've thought to yourself, what in the world do the XMen have to do with beginning into business? Turns out a whole bunch, especially if you've got, think about it really carefully about the group of people that are in power on Krakoa and think to yourself, why aren't they in business? They kind of already made a trade like blockade. If you didn't join their support of honoring the sovereignty of Krakoa, then you couldn't have the super fancy drugs that they were making to fix all of your ills. So it's about time to monetize. It's a fun assortment of characters that are forming now the board of their new corporation. So
You gonna do another one?
I'm going to do another one?
Yeah.
Excellent. And Fantastic Four, it does say The Bride of Doom, Part 1. Lots of awkward love triangles and squares and other things. Because you have, we have a marriage that we know happened between the Thing and his longtime girlfriend. They've been married. She's an artist. She's been making cool sculptures of Doom. They've been invited to this big, showing off of all of the cool sculptures. Most of them are from Latveria and are being guarded by a character called, I don't remember her name, but she looks really boss. And there's weird stuff that happens, like his ex-girlfriend shows up, Johnny's ex-girl shows up, Ben and his wife have adopted 2 Skrulls. It can't get any more complex than it is in this. And then Doom chooses a bride, and who he chooses makes everything even more complex. The Doom. And gorgeous cover art by, I think that's got to be my man Brooks. If it's not, I'll eat my hat, I guess.
Pretty sure. I'm not wearing a hat.
I like Madame Mask and Doom as a couple. I agree. I do think that would be a good couple. In this case, nope.
Future State Gotham number 1. Thought you were done with Future State? Nah. Goodness. Okay, so this one takes place after all the other Future State relating to Batman, from what I can tell. We've got Wanted, Batman, Wanted, Nightwing, Stephanie Brown. There should be all of the Bat family there, except for Red Hood. This one has everything to do with Jason Todd and his current relationship with mostly the whole Bat family, but specifically they focus on Batman. Also, you may remember that there are the Peacekeepers. We see another one in this book. And then there is a secondary story in here, but it doesn't say on the front. It's a Batman story as well. So,
and fair warning, if you had designs on getting the individual issues of anything Future State and you weren't waiting on trade paperbacks, you should run, not walk to your local comic shop because they're about to strip all those covers because those were all fully returnable.
Yep.
So if you want to have those individual issues, you better call them now and tell them which ones you need because they may not exist anymore after the next couple weeks.
And if you were wondering which which trades have which stories. They're pretty much grouped with like characters, and it has a full page ad in all of the DC books for this week that have them, but it doesn't necessarily say in the ad which ones are which. So if you're only looking for specific trades, definitely look on DC's website because I believe I saw it there as well.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excuse me. All right, Heroes Reborn number 2. In Heroes Reborn number 1, you saw Blade. This was just last week, so
Right.
it wasn't that long ago. You should remember. Blade running around the city. The premise is that the Avengers never happened. Cap was still frozen in the ice. There were a great many things that didn't occur to create the Avengers the way we have them now. So instead, you have other major players, specifically like Hyperion and other like side characters you may not be familiar with that are actually very powerful, but just next to the Avengers, they don't look like that. It also means that the bad guys that they're facing are completely different because they also did not have nemesises that they would normally have in the superheroes. So you've got completely different bad guys. So Heroes Reborn is full of a bunch of first appearances, especially in the bad guy world. And in this one, it focuses on Hyperion and furthers the storyline that started with Blade. There is another character that's part of this universe that knows what it was like when the Avengers were there, but he is also in this universe crazy. So not that different than his character in general. Normally, he's just not to be reasoned with, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So this is one of those little excursus books that I'm not 100% certain how much it affects the main universe, but it could be big implications. Also, it bears reminding that the Hellfire Gala is going to be going on in the next month or two. You should be able to find at your local comic shop a cool little giveaway that has the invitation in there and what books are tied in and what all of that means. And then it appears, I've actually dropped this information, that the next big story arc that's tied to the Hickman run is the trial of Magneto. It appears that he is being accused of murdering another mutant.
Okay.
Which is way, way against Krakoan law.
I mean, not just Krakoan law, though, but okay, that's a lot. Joker. So, Commissioner Gordon has been, in the last issue, he was asked by a mysterious blonde lady to kill the Joker. And is like, here's a credit card,
Here's a credit card?
So, to pay for expenses. Like, they're going to pay for all the expenses and everything like that.
Oh, okay.
And then they're going to pay
Not
him.
to go to Neiman Marcus and get a new outfit for it. This is a killing outfit.
If he needs disguises, sure, why not,
Okay.
But, so he... In issue 2, he had kind of come to the conclusion that he was going to at least go and try to find the Joker, because the Joker is not in the States. They know where he is, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they know which country and in which city he's kind of been in. And so he's going to find the Joker. Whether or not he's going to kill him, he is still...
Sorry. It says I thought you meant someone tried to pay Commissioner Gordon with Amex gift cards. I mean, I'd work for, specific gift cards, I guess.
I mean, wouldn't that be like the shady way to pay someone anyway? Because they're not really traceable.
Feels like a good laundering scheme.
Right. Anyway, in the second part, we've got Punchline, and she is in jail, and then her best friend from college is showing, oh gosh, I cannot remember the girl who's investigating. She's a superhero, but she's also been really involved in the case. So she's been trying to figure out, the whole, like, why Punchline was doing the things she was doing. Because, and whether or not the Joker was really that big of an influence on her. Because she's claiming, of course, from the Joker War, where her podcast, she had said that she was really influenced by the Joker, and she was kind of like how Harley, but she thinks maybe that's not completely true. So good. So good.
All right, first of all, shoot! And then, yes, Gordon is going to spend the next 3 weeks on the phone with India getting scammed trying to activate the cards. That's really what the whole thing is the cards aren't real. They're just a way for us to hack into his supercomputer.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You got us.
And then the Joker is clearly on vacation.
Yeah, he needs to make sure he gets way more sunscreen on than he currently has. He's going to get burnt. All right, this is Silk number 3. Cindy's still out there trying to figure out what is going on. This character who's also on the cover is a mega social influencer, but there's something else about her that you should know, and I'm not going to tell you. But they do meet up under the guises of just a normal meetup in Cindy's life. But this character drops a major bomb about what she knows about Cindy. So jump in.
All right. So this one is DC Festival of Heroes, the Asian Superhero Celebration.
Yes! It's the right month for such things.
Yes. It's so good. Okay, so I think there's probably about 8 stories. I think there's 10 or so pinups, including one by Jen Bartel, which, oh my gosh, so good. So each, and then there's also bios for their all of their Asian characters and Asian American, any of the characters with Asian heritage. And there are so many that I'm glad they're finally able to have a story focused on them, because a lot of times we see these characters and they're in groups, but
does it also do, because I know it's Pacific Islander and okay, so they do it all. Good.
Yeah. I think there's also a story that's going to continue. I think it's the Monkey Prince Adventures or something like that.
Oh,
that
sounds like fun.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh.
Monkey Prince
Yes.
Adventures.
Yes. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I definitely meant to just kind of skim it because it's so big. It's a $10 book.
Yeah.
But I read this one first, and yeah.
You did not only read part of it, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
All right, SpiderMan, Spider's Shadow. You'll remember this when it came out is a very subliminal what if. There it is right there. In which this view of Peter is that he chooses to keep the black suit and not give it up and it doesn't end up going to Eddie Brock. And so the suit has influence over him. And in this way, he makes choices that Peter would not have, which is he draws a line at how far he goes with bad guys for damage and those kinds of things, and how much he puts people in harm's way and his own friends and family. So I think all that's been stripped away from him, and you're going to get to see him if he did not have friends or family as a consideration for what he did, nor the safety, longevity of bad guys in his decision-making processes. Monkey Prince sounds like a new Netflix docuseries. It does.
I need it.
It does. Did you guys know that here in Houston this week, there was a tiger walking around North Houston, and it now appears that the person who owned it used that tiger to murder somebody, just like Tiger King is come to Houston, Texas.
No.
I was just going to say, after I saw that, I totally went back to finish watching, because I stopped watching the Tiger King because I was like, oh my gosh. Oh, it's good. It's so bad, but it's good.
It's the worst.
I can't.
It's the worst.
I tried 5 minutes and just walked away.
Except for this is a dude that owns it, and I don't. What's so weird is they said that it was wandering around this neighborhood, and then a white, Suburban pulled up and picked up the tiger. But I guess that whatever person picked up the tiger isn't the person who owns it.
Right.
Who knows what the tiger is or who picked it up? I'm not just picking up random tigers in my white SUV. I'm sorry.
Super Russian.
Does it sound Russian?
Yes, it does. I feel like instead of tiger, we have bear.
That's right. We
Yeah,
are currently living our very own Netflix special here in Houston, Texas. And then there's going to be a tornado that'll just blow us all away.
We'll be fine. We have
Yep.
a giant Pikachu to save us.
That's right. We'll be
just all
fine.
hide in it.
It's all Carol Baskin.
Tignado.
Baskin.
But she can dance.
You gotta throw it and catch it.
Challenge of the Super Sons, number 2. Malice of the Minotaur. Guest starring Wonder Woman. So, there's a lot of time travel in this series. Yeah. They are pretty much having to go through and stop heroes, people, just people who show up on these scrolls from being killed, whether murder or just like in a fight or whatever. They have to stop the death from happening, which is a lot for 2 boys to do with, when they're having to pretty much sneak out sometimes in order to do their heroing. Cough, cough, John. Stop it. But there's so much good banter in this, and there's a few characters that we haven't seen how the Super Sons interact with, that I didn't think that they would interact with, but it was so good. And it was not the time travel part, like there's a part where they're trying to figure out where and when they are, and John's like, is this the past? And asking someone who's living in their present, which is
Wibbly wobbly timey-wimey.
And Damien's just like, dude, they're not gonna know. This is their present. It's just so funny.
Just thinking to myself, since we've been talking about Carol Baskins, why doesn't someone write like a really scary horror in which Gollum, Tiger Pooh, Mr. Haskins shows up, or Baskins shows up and like gets back at everybody.
I'm so confused.
Tiger Pooh Baskins.
Carol Baskins killed her husband. Can't convince me
It did happen.
Yeah, do that.
Tigers, they snack. What's happening?
Carol
Baskin. I went and watched a bunch of those yesterday.
So you can hear it. Here comes the tornado to get us now.
No, it's
Let me
the rain.
finish my post first.
We're at Maniac of New York and number 4. Still maniacing. Still killing people right and left. Still has ties to the subway. We still don't know who this person is. But this like symbol thing shows up in a very interesting way in the book.
Mhm.
I'd never really glommed onto the fact that that's, like the face mask thing meant anything. I just thought it was like, hey, I got to draw something scary looking on a mask so I can terrify people. So there you go. There's a big reveal on the last page about that.
All right, you handed me this one, and I was like, oh no, from the world of Heck Boy. I don't know anything about Heck Boy.
You don't need to.
It's okay, I don't need to. The House of Lost Horizons, a Sarah Jewell mystery. And I was like, okay, this does sound right up my alley. Yes, it is. It's just like all of those. You go to the mansion because there's been a murder, and it's probably one of the people, but you don't know for sure. Yeah,
Oh
it's
no!
exactly how, and it's all just exactly the
Aftershock.
I lost my train of thought.
I'm sorry, I missed
It's
that.
okay. No, it's yeah, I can't wait to read more. And this is number 1 of 5, so I love the short ones.
So there you go.
Yeah.
It looks very 20s.
Yes, very much. It takes place in 1926.
Aha! You like period pieces for sure.
I do.
All right, I got 2 on the experience as part of Talking Shop yesterday. Have an awesome interview with Declan Shelby all the way from Ireland. I could talk to him for all of my life just to hear him talk.
Yes, me too.
And we talked about this awesome book, Time Before Time. And in this book, the premise is that there is kind of like a mafia or underground organization who will, for all your money or all belongings, send you to any point back in time that you would like to go. Because everyone has this like rose-colored glasses look at times gone by. So they have ideas for what's the perfect year to go back to. And it's funny, in the very first pages, they have a mom and son that get taken back in time, and I can't remember what time period. They actually have the giant dates on the top so you can know. And the boy's immediately like, what's the Wi-Fi password here? And she's like, oh, honey. And like you can see automatically the problems, right? If you had to go back, like, oh, great, 1986 seems like an awesome time. I was a killer soccer player, and everyone knew my name. And then you go back there and realize you got to wear leg warmers. Sucks to be you.
Oh my gosh.
So
You
yeah,
say
this,
that like leg warmers aren't awesome.
they're coming back. If you go and look at all the clothes in the stores right now, they are all straight up 80s,
Did
like
you see
fully
bell bottoms
80s.
are back now? Yeah. Like the elephant ear size, like bell bottoms.
Oh, good.
Okay, they're mixing their
I know.
metaphors.
I
That's not
still
good.
have mine too.
I literally
mine are
bought
way
from
back
Forever
then.
21 last week an outfit that I actually owned in 1986. I think they just replicated it down to the stitches. It's like acid wash jeans and then a pink sweater that's way too big here so you can wear it off your shoulder and just wear like a little.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
You know I have that
You
shirt.
always show a shoulder.
Always.
And now I just got to tease my hair to high heaven, give
You'll
it the
be
flock
like
of
all
seagulls. We're good.
Teach you the dances where you just throw it and catch it, and then you'll be in
Hey,
with the
Robert!
kids. You'll be in with the kids.
So anyway, I didn't tell you very much about the book, but just imagine all the implications for if you were an all-powerful organization that could send people back in time, and what else you could do with it, especially if you had employees that decided that they were in trouble with you, so they also might want to escape back in time.
Who's in trouble?
Batman and Scooby-Doo Mysteries number 2. So these are pretty much just like a series of one-shots where the only thing that really ties together is that they're working together, from what I can tell.
Okay.
Other than like in the first issue is them meeting up for the first time, and then they solve the mystery, and then it comes back and they're coming back to the Batcave together. But of course, Shaggy and the gang, because they're not superheroes, they still have to be blindfolded to get to the Batcave.
Hey man,
So,
if those crazy kids don't try to take off the Joker's mask at some point to find the what's his face from the where is it, like Mr. Whatever from the
Yeah.
carnival.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to say anything about that part, but you find out that Shaggy is afraid of more things than you thought.
Oh man. All right, our artist friend says it's cool. Superman has been wearing the same undies since 1938. Old is new again. I'm assuming not the exact same undies because gross.
Well, you got to do it like Stan Lee did it in that one movie. What was it? Hero was in it. It had furry baby. Baymax is in it.
Yeah.
What was the name of it? Like front to back, turned inside out, back to front.
Hero 6.
Thank
Hero
you.
6,
Big
yeah.
Hero 6. Yeah, do it like Stanley does in there. Front to back, inside out, back
He's got
to
it.
front.
That's right.
Your turn.
Sorry. 6 thing.
Hairy baby.
Baby. All right. This is from Behemoth Comics, and as you guys know, all Behemoth comics have become like the hotness. So just add all Behemoth to your pull box and just save yourself a lot of pain. Because if you wait until after FOC, your local comic shop's going to be like, because Behemoth isn't in FOC as far as I know yet. This is the number 1 called Junkie Cable. As far as I can tell, this series is about a married couple. It's a couple in anyway that are really into each other in that way, and there's a lot of that ooh la la going on, and their universe seems to be very sexually oriented. So there's a bunch of that kind of stuff going on. They have these weird little like creatures that they've captured and are around, but one of them lives in this girl's cleavage, and you find out they're actually supposed to be taking them to a specific person. This person will just blow your mind. So anyway, not for the kids. If you like really groovy art and a lot of sexual innuendo, it's your book.
Okay, good. Nothing here. We're okay.
There's no creature in my cleavage either. No. I'm so in trouble with my producer right now.
Proctor Valley Road number 3. I didn't read number 2, but Jen put it in my pile, so I read it anyway. It's okay.
I knew
meant to
I
read
didn't
number
read
2.
it, so
Yeah, I meant to read number 2. I think we had too many other books that I needed to read that week, but I read the first one. So our group of high school girls who have decided, I don't know which one of them has this car that they just drive to Proctor Valley Road, but like they're deciding because it's like a ghost road to do like ghost tours, but like in the first issue they're like, oh no, it's not real, and then of course they find out, yeah, it's real. Stuff happens. They get in trouble at school about it. The boys that they took in the first issue went missing.
oh, that's really bad.
Yeah. So yeah, they got in pretty big trouble about that. But they were like, okay, but the boys are also teenagers. So it's like, what if they just ran away as a prank or whatever? They're really committed or something. You're not going to know until you find them. But in this issue, they have been given detention. Yeah. I really can't say anything else about it, but it went in a direction that I was not expecting it to go. So now I'm really excited to go back and reread number 2 and number 1.
I can't remember if I ever went to detention. I know I got in trouble one time in the lunchroom for not putting away my lunch tray, and then I got put on lunch tray duty for a month. But I don't think I ever made detention. I guess it
That
is.
was all me.
I guess that's lunch detention.
I got all the detention in ISS, so that was me.
You got all you liked it a lot.
Once.
That was your safe space.
That was my safe space because it was like a cool group of just us that we just, we didn't care.
I had my
We just went
headphones
there because
in.
it was quiet and we could do our homework.
I had my headphones in the cafeteria before school started. Apparently, I had that. I'd been caught on it for too many times, but I'd only been talked about it to once.
Yeah.
So I was like,
that girl's got her headphones on.
Because I was
Again.
because I was getting bullied, so I was trying to, not.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
It's
kept
a good place to
we had our
escape to.
headphones in, but our hair was long and down.
Mine
we had
was
the
short,
black hair.
so-
Me and my friends had dyed all of our hair black, and we had the headphones in with the wires in, so the teachers couldn't tell what was wired into our shirts versus our hair.
We
You
just-
goth girl.
Long
What's not
sleeve,
funny?
long sleeves. You put it through, and you just.
Oh no! We put it through our shirt, into our hair, and then around our ears. And
I
just
did it in
Nobody
history
saw.
class because
You guys are lucky because headphones when I was growing up were
Yeah.
like these giant,
like the ones I wear
Leia Organa earmuffs. That's all your only choice. You didn't have anything small.
I think the teachers ended up just ignoring us because we were such goofballs.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime they thought we were in trouble doing something, we would be like having a mud fight in the courtyard or something. Not defacing property or anything. Oh no. Just being the weirdo.
My senior year, there was a fight in the courtyard, and so everybody went out.
Yes.
Like, why would you go?
Kyle.
Oh,
Kyle. Do you see what he said?
Hey, we did the same thing, but we had Chick-fil-A sandwiches. So we would just use the chicken.
Why would you not eat
Because it
the
was
chicken?
the commons and
that's
free
true.
food for free.
Somehow we never got in trouble in the cafeteria for playing D&D.
Just stand up. Throw
Although,
it to my friend.
according to the teachers, our souls belong to the devil. All right.
We were presidents. Is what
I'm a Sunday school teacher, so clearly that did not occur. Breath of Bones is an original graphic novel, which should win the Eisner this year. I'll just tell you right now, you're going to get into some weighty stuff about war. It is about a boy living during World War II whose village finds itself right in the crosshairs when a British air pilot crash lands on their village land. And then the Germans come looking for him. And it does have a golem in it, which is the reason why I said golem earlier. So, but the way that it rolls out will take your breath away and totally catch you in the feels. You might not need to have a tissue to cry with, but you will have one of those existential moments. And you're like going, I understand something more about the universe now than I did before reading this book.
Fun fact, golems are from Jewish mythology where you take clay and make babies.
Yep. That's essentially what happens here, but not
Like
making
Wonder
babies.
Woman.
Wink, wink.
Like Wonder Woman.
Yeah, very much.
Yeah.
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 It's a theme going on this week. Golems.
So this is, I think, part 3 or 4. I've lost count at this point. I think it's part 3 of Wonder Woman in with the Norse mythology, because she has lost her memory. So I thought this was gonna go in a completely different direction than it went, but I'm so excited about it. But I can't say anything about it because it's such a big twist that I might accidentally say something. So, but yeah.
What they tweet.
What's it say? What's it say?
Prepare to die, trespasser.
Uh-oh.
And it's, I mean,
Yep.
And then there's also the Adventures of Young Diana in the back of it, and so cute, so cute.
So twisty and cute.
And
Yeah,
I do have to mention that there is a backup story in Heroes Reborn you shouldn't miss, because it does. It's just like a regular Marvel movie in which there's a whole second half an hour that occurs after the trailer, which is the important stuff. So, all right, what should I do next? Let's do Geiger. Geiger took the world by storm. This is issue number 2. Issue number 1 sold out everywhere. Don't ask me if I have any copies. I don't. And neither does anybody else. You're going to have to get them from your friends on the Bay. But it's worth hunting down because the premise of the book is that there's a big nuclear attack. A man puts his family into an underground bunker, but he himself stays above ground. And when everybody comes out, it appears that, there's a true nuclear holocaust. It moves way ahead in the future, so it just jumps way ahead, in which you find out that he now is this character that kind of glows green and appears to have special powers or abilities related to being exposed to radiation.
Right.
And in this second issue, you find out more about his health right ahead of this event happening, which also ties into this whole idea of the radiation exposure. And so furthers the story even more. So this character is has mythological status in their community. Mm-hmm. They all are aware of his existence. So it's a boss book. You should totally jump into that one.
There was a glow-in-the-dark cover for the first issue, wasn't there?
Mm-hmm.
I hope
there sure was.
I hope they do the cover for the trade. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Right, you're going to have to do one more because I only have one more.
Okay. We'll do Silver City. All right. So Silver City is a really interesting book. How to explain it? I'm going to make sure I'm not giving stuff away that doesn't happen until the end. This is also Aftershock. There's 2 really good Aftershock books this week, by the way. Actually, there's more than that. But oh, yeah. Okay. So there is a super big event that happens at the very end of the book that appears to kill everybody that you see. And everything that you see after those first pages is right away, they tell you that this is stuff happening and everybody that's in this book is dead. They all live in Silver City and they all get taken in as soon as they show up and get told, all right, you have to go to orientation, you'll be assigned your new house and get used to your new bodies. And it's basically about characters kind of making their way through what appears to, when you're in whatever this is, purgatory or whatever they're going to call it, Silver City, that there are, you can become damaged there. If someone, creates damage to your body, that's permanent. So there is kind of you do want to have protection of yourself. And it looks like there's people that are already there that try to pull things over on the newbies. So that's what's happening in this first book. But there's I don't know if people have ever seen this one. There's big statues of them around. It's this big silver knight that's back there. And that's kind of their, I don't know. I don't want to say hero because we haven't seen it do anything, but I don't know what it is. But just think of their highly exalted person they talk about all the time. If we could only see the silver knight.
Kanto and the City of Giants, number 2. This is the 3rd storyline from Kanto, I think.
Third major storyline, but they had a single shot in there at some point.
Right. I don't know what I can say because I didn't read number 1. But
this is the Giants one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So in one of his other adventures, he's met up with a giant. He's actually gone to the land of the giants in this case. And to get something from them, there's a witch that he's going to try to use a magic to, I think, heal this giant.
Right.
But the giants there don't like that idea or don't like them. So it's like this quest, the first quest was about him getting the heart, and this quest is about getting something for this giant.
Mm-hmm. So in this issue, he and the witch have made it to this labyrinth. So it deals with them and the labyrinth.
Mm-hmm.
And the artwork is, as always, phenomenal. But there's so much detail in the labyrinth that I want to see a over with all of the labyrinth and see if I can solve it.
I can see that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Kanto's been really good, and I believe that's actually been picked up for development.
I hope so.
Uh,
I would love that so much.
I think I had an interview with David Boer. I think that's who I talked to. It was supposed to be Zucker also, but I think it was just Boer. And it was amazing to hear them talk about, like how they thought things through for the character. And I just love the character design because he's not a large individual. He's very small. It's more about his heart and his like he doesn't let anything like stop him.
Yeah.
He sticks to it. He's like, feel like people should look at him and say, yeah, it's what I want to do too. All right, here is the crazy book that comes out tomorrow. That will be available for 24 hours and 24 hours only. If you don't go to your local comic shop and buy it, or call them on the phone and pay for it, or pay for it online and get it shipped to you, then you can't have it. So just be aware. You have one day to get it, one day only, and we have to ship everything that's unsold back to Bad Idea at the end of the 24 hours. So that's the way this is going to roll out. This is Hank Howard, Pizza Detective, Caligula's Safe. Just the longest name ever made for a book. I think they were just trying to use all the vowels and all the consonants. I think they might have gotten there. So it is literally about a fellow who is a detective who gets hired by a pizza company to be their detective. So that'll help you figure things out. And the name of the pizza place is Caligula's Pizza. And there's a safe that's been broken into in the very beginning of the book. So there you go. Hank Howard, Pizza Detective, Caligula's Safe. Now you know why it's called such things. But the other cool thing is there's a backup story, just like they have been doing. Yep, just a one-shot. The backup story in here is actually an introduction to another story that they're going to be producing. And I can't show you the inside of this book because it's not time. But I can tell you that the main story, the Caligula's Safe, is black and white. And that the next lead-in story is all in beautiful color. It's so gorgeous. And it is called Leave Now by Matt Kent and Tomas Guerrero, Diego Rodriguez. So beautiful. So this is 2 stories for one money. And how much is the one money? It is the $1. So, and it is also, I don't know how they're going to produce it. It's spot varnish. It's like literally the most beautiful thing. It's highest quality. It's a no-brainer. And just like all of Bad Ideas books, your store that you go to is limited to selling you one and one only. Don't ask them for 2. Don't say I've got a brother that can't make it in today. They can only sell you one. Your brother can call up on the phone, I suppose. Yeah. Have your brother call up and buy it over the phone. So don't miss it. Or sister. Yep. But yeah, it's going to be a fun day tomorrow. Be extra patient with your local comic shop, please, because when we have those kinds of releases, it's extra difficult, and we spend 3 times as much time making sure we've tracked who's got what, and because we want to follow all the rules so we don't get the boot. Although their goal is not to give people the boot, honestly. I think it's funny that in social media, everyone's like, Bad Idea is evil and wants to give people, they want to catch people doing the wrong things, so they give them the boot. No, it's really not their purpose of doing it. And extra fun stuff that's out there, just so you can kind of hunt them down. Just know that for all of the regular releases, Bad Idea has been doing these cool buttons, which they haven't yet really said what it's going to get you if you have a button, but I'm assuming it's amazing. But there's renegades of us out there that do ridiculous things because Dinesh doesn't care. So we've made dumb things like, not number 1, and it doesn't even say Walesville, it says Walletsville, because why would you ever want to spell anything that's a button that's not the real button? It's not even the right color.
Right.
We've also badly made not number 1 ENIAC buttons. So yeah, but they're out there. It's fun to be the first person in line and get a button, but I don't believe there's a button for Caligula's Safe. We did not get one, so I don't think that is a thing. So don't go wait out in front of your local comic shop tomorrow waiting for a button, because there's the button for this one. It's just the book. Anyone have any questions? We got a couple minutes.
I promise I didn't eat the book. I promise. I read. I'm going to.
Did everybody see the new Venom? It's going to be Carnage.
Let There Be Carnage.
Let There Be Carnage trailer. It's amazing. So good. So there's a big debate, which there shouldn't be a debate because you can just go to IMDb and look up what the characters have been announced and who's playing them. But there's a debate on who the other character is in the trailer. It's obvious if you go there. I'm not going to spoil it for you. I want you guys to still be able to go see the trailer and enjoy it for the first time. I myself can't get enough of Woody Harrelson's acting, so I'm entirely prepared for his craziness as Cletus Cassidy. He plays really good crazy. You haven't seen it since Raimi's Spider-Man 3. I have got a rule for myself, so I understand you not wanting to watch them. I have a rule. I will watch the first trailer for something, but every subsequent trailer I won't watch because I find that by the time I get to the movie, I've watched most of the movie.
Yeah.
And it's not as cool. So
I just don't watch trailers because I like to go into movies completely surprised.
Mm-hmm.
I usually forget I've seen the trailer until I'm like, I'm watching the movie and that scene comes up and I'm like, oh!
Oh, yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah,
there was.
If they pop up on Twitter randomly, then I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, I'll see what it's, Make sure it's not too scary for me, especially when it's not a superhero or nerdy movie. I'm a scaredy cat, okay?
I once went to an industry meeting in which Marvel asked everybody in the room who had seen the Captain Marvel trailer. And everyone put their hand up but me. And I said, I'm trying not to watch it on purpose. And then David Gabriel, who is the VP, said, all right, we'll play it for Jen. And then they played the trailer in which I went like this and turned away. And he was like, when I looked back, he was like, it's like, I just told you I didn't want to see the trailer.
Meh.
And I successfully didn't watch it. And it made the movie much better for me because I wasn't tired of the trailer.
I saw that movie so many times, though.
That was a problem with Wonder Woman. By the time I got around to Woman, because I went to the movie theater all through COVID. And that's what they played over and over and over and over and over again. So by the time I watched Wonder Woman, it didn't matter how good that movie was, which was a good movie. I was just so over that same scenes we saw. Oh, my word. Yeah. Woody would be good as Carnage, but 3 actors would have been loved more. Walton Goggins. I love Walton. Jackie Earle Haley, first person that ever followed me on Twitter for reasons I don't know. And Matthew McConaughey. I don't know.
McConaughey.
Oh, is it McConaughey? McConaughey. He could be crazy.
He's too busy trying to be governor.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's going to be the governor of Tejas. I call it now. It'll happen.
Well, Ronald Reagan was an actor who became president.
That's true.
Let it be done.
He's a dad. He's got his head on straight.
Mostly.
All right.
Mostly. He's all right.
Is that going to be the new
I hope that that's
Texas?
his. Oh, yeah.
Not just friendship. It's just going to be like, all right. You got to say it like from the side.
He married his first wife in a cemetery. He's boss, man.
Okay, he's got my book.
No, that was.
By the way,
Reagan.
what you guys should know about Kyle, who is our producer who's in the chair today, is that he is a student of history. And so, like, even now, he's like way past school age, but he goes and does classes every week, I think, that is just like a big, like a lecture series on history. So he learns more and more and more. So if you have any history questions ever, just ask Kyle.
If you want to send me a fun fact about American history once a day or once a week, I will take it in. Because I didn't get American history till high school, and we had already missed all of that. So the only history I got was like governmental history, and I kind of missed much of that too because it was in English.
I can remember once I filled out
English.
There was a scholarship
class. I was like, no, we had government classes.
Oh, I did. I had government.
Yeah, I know. I did too.
But like, it was almost basically like remedial government because they were just like, okay, so you know how other countries run? We don't do any of that.
Yeah.
We do this, and I'm like, this doesn't make sense.
Yep.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
So, any history you want to throw at me, I'm here for it.
In 5th and 6th grade, there was some kind of like scholarship or, like
the Wax Museum,
who's
right?
No, some like who's who thing that you could apply for from the it was like a national thing, like a spelling bee, but this was like for an essay. And it was supposed to be on American history. And I had just been through Texas State history, so they got an entire essay on Texas history. And, it's just like now when we ignore that we're part of America.
Yeah.
Or just Texas.
Texas history was.
Me that there's literally like a whole year of school.
Yeah.
Here comes Kyle. He's going to teach. He's going to learn us something.
Well, no, I'm just going to say I've been banned from more than one presidential history museum and presidential library. They don't like it when you correct the tour guides.
You corrected a docent?
Several.
Oh, no.
If you're wrong, you're wrong. Stand there in your wrongness and be wrong. Don't throw me out of the museum.
Right?
Why did they just hire you?
I was like 7.
Oh.
Oh, that makes it worse for
That
them.
makes it even better. That makes it even better.
Yep, I got thrown out of the Harding Presidential Library in the 5th grade, and I got thrown out of the McKinley Presidential Library in the 4th grade.
Were you Sheldon?
Instead of science for history.
I exercise my right to not self-incriminate. So yeah, no, that's no, it's got nothing to do with that, JD Smith. It's got everything to do with, at one point as a preteen, I was an expert on both William McKinley and Warren G. Harding.
Why?
And Rutherford B. Hayes, actually, because somebody had to be. So
Somebody had to.
Thanks for taking the hit for us, Kyle.
You'll find that no one's ever written a good book about them like somebody did about Alexander Hamilton or Aaron Burr or any of them.
They're not as
So
romantic,
Lincoln,
right?
there's so many books about Lincoln.
Yeah.
So many.
right, nobody ever wrote anything about Rutherford B. Hayes.
I never know which one to believe.
So
Just to fact check them against Kyle.
Right?
Kyle, which
Yeah,
post's
I'm
right?
right now.
Which post's right? Which one do I believe?
What do you have? Is it an
it's a
owl?
porg.
Oh, it's a porg. Aww.
Crochet porg.
Oh, it's this tiny version of the one your mom makes.
So cute. All right, Hannah.
It's going on the
Does
shelf.
this because Lincoln was also a vampire hunter.
Well, okay. Well, yeah, that's true.
I'm sure.
My
hard to
dad
read
hasn't
that.
seen that movie, but Lincoln is my dad's favorite president. So
I'm the guy who knows the line that Booth used to cover his shot, like the laugh line in Our American Cousin. That is a play that's lost history. I know the laugh line,
Oh.
so that's the weirdness that I am. So
we went to the theater with my DC trip. It's
well, it collapsed at one point, right? It was closed for like
Right.
60 years because it caved in on itself,
yeah,
and they
this was
spent
back
like a
in
ton of money rebuilding it to look old.
2013. That's when we went.
Mhm.
So crazy.
So,
we're
about
we're
8 years-
busy tearing them down.
About 8 years
Oh.
ago, actually, because it would have been about now,
Mhm.
right during the tax tests.
We're
His
the wall. Tear it
Seniors,
down.
so we didn't have to take them. So
Concentration camp. Tear it down. Nah.
Yeah, no, we never got to go anywhere for a senior trip like that. We
it was with
we
our.
did a lot of that kind of stuff in middle school.
Yeah, we didn't do as many field trips then, and we still had to pay for everything. But
That's so crazy. All of my art trips at the same high school was paid for.
no, we had to pay for our
Every
art
other
trip.
weekend, we got to go to a different art
All
museum.
right.
And they were just like, okay, Jenna, let's go.
All right.
Like, all
So
right.
just remember, this is what you guys need to know out there in Experience Land. If you ever need to call a friend in a trivia, anything, Kyle's your dude.
But never
Kyle
underestimate
can
the
look
fact that I may be the one competing against you.
That's probably true as well. All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. 1 minute to skim it. We're going to run and get ready for our next chaos. Thank you for hanging out with us and talking about ridiculously fun books. Do remember to use comicshoplocator.com and connect with your local comic shop so you can get your Bad Idea book. Just remember that not all comic book stores are Bad Idea stores. Use badideacorp.com to find out where. I'll see you guys later. Bye.